A faceless picture. It was a cold winter night. Kind of night where the wind howls and the trees seem to reach out from their graves, clawing at the windows to get in. I was home alone. My parents were out for the evening, which wasn't all that unusual. What was unusual was that they asked me to stay home and take care of my little sister. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved my little sister to death, but she was a handful. So when my parents came back home, I was usually pretty happy to see them. But this time was different. This time I was scared. The doorbell rang, and I went to answer it. It was my neighbor, Mrs. Gable. She was an old woman who lived alone. We didn't talk much, just the usual pleasantries. But tonight she looked different. Her face seemed drawn and aged. Her eyes were wide and glistening. When she smiled, it wasn't her kind, wrinkled smile. It was something twisted and grotesque. She said she needed to use my phone, so I let her come in. She made a call, and then another. Then she turned to me and asked if I had a camera. I said I did, and I brought her into my room to look at my collection. She picked up an old Polaroid camera and snapped a picture of me. Then she did something that I'll never forget. She took the picture and tore it in half, revealing a horrifying image. It was a picture of an emaciated old woman with sunken eyes and a twisted smile. In the background of the photo, barely visible, was a little girl in a Victorian nightgown. I asked Mrs. Gable what the picture meant, but she just smiled and said it was nothing. She left soon after that. I never thought much of the picture until the next day, when I woke up and saw the same picture hanging on my wall. I ripped it down, but every time I turned around, it was back up on the wall. I ripped it down again, but this time, when I turned around, the picture was on my bed. I started to panic. What was this picture? Why was it haunting me? And who was the little girl in the background? Then I remembered Mrs. Gable's visit. Had she put a curse on me? Was that why she needed to take a picture? Was the little girl in the picture her? I ran to the window and looked out at Mrs. Gable's house. The blinds were closed, but I could see the faint outline of a rocking chair on the other side. And then I heard a knock on the door. I didn't want to open it, but I had to. And when I did, there she was, the old woman from my picture. The little girl in the background, smiling at me with a twisted grin. She held out a hand, beckoning me to follow her. And as I stared at her, I knew I had only one choice. I had to go with her.